Dear gamma-aminobutyric acid, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was that we did wrong. What we did was wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write this essay telling you what we think the brain is all about. What do you care? You see it as you want to see it. In the simplest terms and the most convenient definitions, you see it as a brainstem, a frontal lobe, a cerebellum, a thalamus, and an amygdala. Correct? That's the way we saw the brain this morning. We were brainwashed.
I'm Gaba, and I'll be monitoring this detention session. I want you all to write an essay about how the structures of the brain are all separate and different.
But we don't know anything about the brain.
Alright kids, let's go, I'll show you. This is the part of the brain that connects the cerebrum with the spinal cord.
So say I break your brainstem. If I break it nicely, you could swallow, sleep, talk, or breathe. If I break it not so nice, you will either die or, my favorite, become a vegetable.
Yes, the brainstem is vital. It's responsible for the vital functions of our body, such as arousal, and it controls the involuntary muscles as well.
Arousal.
Looks like a baseball bat.
So the brainstem is like a phone cord? It transmits messages between the body and the brain, right?
This, kids, is the hindbrain.
So if I didn't have my hind part of my brain, I couldn't play sports since I wouldn't be able to breathe or move or anything else, really?
Check the back of your head, friends.
The hindbrain consists of the cerebellum, the pons, and the medulla oblongata.
Oblongata.
Kids, this is the midbrain. It's called mid because it's smack dab in the middle of the brain.
Good thing I have my midbrain or I wouldn't be able to run the field or see the ball.
So I bust your midbrain, I give you Parkinson's.
Gee, the midbrain is so small, but without it, I wouldn't be able to see all the cute guys at the mall.
To put it into simpler terms, the midbrain serves as a relay station for auditory and visual information.
I like when my pupils are really big.
Now, students, I believe this is the forebrain.
Oh, that's what helmets are for.
The forebrain consists of the thalamus, but wait, there's more! It also consists of the hypothalamus, the limbic system, and the cerebrum.
I hope my forebrain always works right. I want to be able to think, feel, dance, and have babies.
I just want to be able to eat and sleep.
This is the medulla oblongata. It controls breathing and your heartbeat.
So this is why my heart beats fast when I see cute guys?
Do I make your heart beat fast?
Yeah.
Okay. If this is damaged, you're probably gonna die.
These here are the pons.
Oh, one time I went to a pond.
Not pond, pawns.
This is the control center for respiration. It also plays a role in sleep and arousal, and it relays messages between the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the spinal cord.
Go behind the brainstem, kids. Yes. Okay. Now we're at the cerebellum.
I read about this last night. It controls motor movement, coordination, balance, equilibrium, and muscle tone.
Keep talking, and I'll make you lose all sense of equilibrium.
Hey, it looks like a brain's little sister.
Alright, guys. Be careful around this one. Any damage could be very costly.
Why? It just looks like a pea.
Yeah, a pea I could punch in the face!
No, you goofs. It's not a pea. It's the thalamus.
Oh, I know this one. It's like the thingy that takes images like that cute purse I saw the other day, and it relays it to my visual cortex so that my brain can process how much I like it and totally let me buy it.
Doesn't it deal with all the senses, not just visual?
Correctamundo! Every sense but your sense of smell. I would give you a gold star, but I don't feel like I've been allocated the authority to do so.
Alright, children. This here's the hypothalamus.
Hey, didn't we just go over this one?
Actually, guys, the hypothalamus is entirely separate from the thalamus, though it does reside right under it.
I don't have time for this, I have to get to practice.
Actually, without your hypothalamus, you probably wouldn't perform too well at practice, because the hypothalamus controls your heart rate, among other things.
We've reached the hippocampus. This part of the brain is in charge of...
Another one? I've already forgotten about the last two.
Well, what a coincidence! The hippocampus turns short-term memory into long-term memory. I'd say you've probably damaged yours.
This is the amygdala.
Oh, I know all too well about this one.
Yeah, me too.
Why do you guys say that?
Well, it deals with fear, and...
And aggression, okay? What's it to you?
Oh goodness, let's all calm down now and think of rainbows and butterflies.
Okay, guys, now that we've gone over the hypothalamus, hippocampus, and amygdala, does anyone want to guess why I saved this place for last?
Hey look, from here you can see all of those things.
So?
Oh my gosh, that must be the limbic system. It controls emotional life and memories so we can remember our happy times.
The cerebral cortex covers the cerebral hemispheres.
It's the body's ultimate control and information processing center, responsible for sensing and interpreting input from various sources and maintaining cognitive function.
What happens if it gets damaged?
Damage could result in any number of impairments of vision, language, memory, and decision-making.
Alright, kids, this is the frontal lobe. They call it that because it's in the front of your brain. It's responsible for voluntary muscle movements, decision-making, and speaking.
To be more precise, the Broca's area is responsible for speaking, and if you damage it, it could lead to loss of speech or other speech impediments.
Like you stutter?
Sometimes I pretend to have a stutter.
Yeah, and control of voluntary muscle movements is crucial to my sports career.
Oh, it also has the motor cortex, which controls our voluntary movements.
This one's called the parietal lobe. It registers body touch and movement sensations.
Body touch? Aw, should we all hold hands? Or would you all rather I punched you in the face? Bet you would feel that.
I touched all of your elbows just now and none of you felt it.
It's quite possible that our elbows are lacking in neurons that connect to this section of our brain, which is why we didn't feel you touch us.
Is this where our brain also processes the textures of things we touch with our sensory cortex? Because I can definitely tell the difference between 100% cashmere and the knockoff stuff.
Alright, now see here, kids. This is the occipital lobe, where your vision is controlled.
I have visions.
I think he was referring to our physical ability to see. Did you know that images are actually processed upside down and then flipped right side up when they are reconstructed?
And right here, behind your temples, is your temporal lobe.
Isn't this where all the sound from our ears goes? Like when I blast my music, I bet this part of my brain goes nuts or something.
That's right. This is where the auditory cortex is located and where all of the things we hear are processed into understandable words. So if you can't understand me, you might have a damaged Wernicke's area.
Yeah, I don't think the damage to our Wernicke's area is why we don't understand you.
This is the corpus callosum. It holds the two halves of the brain together.
Okay, but if the two sides of your brain couldn't communicate, it would be like me not being able to call my best friend.
Don't worry, if the phone lines go down, you'll still be able to talk to me.
I watched this fascinating video about split brain. You basically have two brains. Man, I would love two brains.
It's like a referee, it gets to communicate with both teams or hemispheres and also holds them together like glue.
Oh, I sometimes glue my fingers together.
Quiet, kids. We're still in the brainstem. This here is the reticular formation.
I love reticular formation because I love sexual arousal.
I need my beauty sleep, so I need the reticular formation.
The reticular formation is so much more important than that. It also regulates the autonomic nervous system, so you guys don't have to think about everything for survival. It is essential to our very existence.
Huh? Oh, I can't seem to stay focused, so I don't know where my reticular formation went. So now you see the structures of the brain as we want to see them. In the simplest terms and the most convenient definitions. All separate and different. But what we found out is that each structure is connected. The cerebellum, the brainstem, the frontal lobe, the thalamus, and the amygdala are all a part of one structure, the brain. So does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, the Brain Club.